Hello children, hope you all are doing good at home. Today we are going to start with your new syllabus in science, mainly physics. So you all know about the sense organs, right? We all have sense organs. Which are they? Maybe ears, which helps us in hearing, tongue, which helps us to taste, skin, which helps us to sense or feel the touch or the pain, and mainly the eyes, which helps us to see things around us. So eyes is the main sense organ which helps us to see the things, the beautiful world around us, right? So if at all you have eyes, is it enough? Are you able to see things? No. Okay. I will leave you in a dark room. Can you see where what item is situated, what is located where? No, you cannot, right? What you need? You need light. In the daytime, with the help of sunlight, we are able to see things around us. But in dark, no, it is not possible. What we do? We have various sources, like maybe the tube lights or the bulbs or torch. Like that, we have various sources of light. So light is very essential thing in all of our lives, which is enabling us to see the things around us with the help of our eyes. So how is this? So in today's class, let us begin with the new chapter in your new syllabus, that is light. What is light? So light is the thing which is very essential for us to see the things around us. Whenever light falls on any object, see, if I want to see this duster, simply if I place the duster on the table in the dark room, can I see this duster? No, I cannot. Light should fall on this duster. Only then I can see or say that the duster is present on the table. So when that light falls, what happens? How is your eye helping it? What happens is when the light falls on any object, that light reflects from the object and falls onto our eyes. When the light coming from any source, maybe the sunlight or from the bulb or from the torch, whatever it is, when the light falls on any object and it reflects back. When it reflects, the light will fall onto our eyes. When it falls into our eyes, then only we can able to see things. Anything it may be. So what happens when the reflected light enters our eyes is there is a part in our eye called retina, which is helping to focus the lens. We all have lens in our eyes. So through that you can see the object, and that there is a nerve which is connected from eye to the brain, that is called the optic nerve. It is called the optic nerve. It is the nerve which connects from eyes to the brain. So whenever you look at any object, this optic nerve receives the signals and passes it on to the brain. It passes the message to our brain, and our brain helps in sensing the object to differentiate what is what. Yes, no? This is duster, this is chalk, this is board, that is chair, this is table. You are able to differentiate the things with the help of light. Means it is mainly because of our eyes, and through this optic nerve the messages which is received is sent to the brain, and brain interprets the things and helps us in analyzing the things. Hence, this light is very important. You all have heard about reflection. Reflection of light. Before understanding reflection of light, first let us try to understand what is reflection. Just now I said, whenever light falls, it falls on our eyes. So only it will reflect back. So when we say about reflection, what strikes to our mind is the mirror. So when you stand right in front of the mirror, you can see yourself. Why you can see yourself? Because the light again falling on the mirror is getting the reflected light back which is falling to our eyes, and you are able to see your picture in the mirror or view yourself in the mirror. That is reflection. Anything which goes and it is bounced back, it is coming back, that is called reflection. Reflection of light means you tell it with respect to light. Whenever the light falls on any object, it bounces back or it reflects back. That is called reflection of light. So to understand this reflection of light in a better way, let us consider the example of a mirror itself. You all have been using the mirror, it is part of our life. If we want to dress up, yes, we go stand in front of the mirror and dress up ourselves. But if at all you have observed, is mirror a plain glass or it is a transparent glass? No. If at all you are able to see yourself in the mirror, then back side of the mirror is silvered or polished. Only then you can see yourself. Simply if I hold a transparent glass and try to watch myself, no, I will not be able to. Why? Because I can see the things which are on the other side of the mirror or the glass. This is not the mirror, glass. So transparent glass means what is on the other side of the glass we can see. It is transparent. But mirror means, suppose if this is the front part of the mirror, the back part will be silvered or polished. That is the reason the light gets reflected and you can see yourself in the mirror. So to understand this reflection of light, let us consider the surface of the mirror. This line is the surface of the mirror. I am holding the mirror like this. Now, as I showed you, I will draw lines like this on one of the side of the line, either upside or downward. Wherever you want, you can draw. So, the lines what here, I can draw lines or even you can shade it this way. Even you can shade. Why am I doing this? Just now I said, if you consider the mirror, one of its side will be silvered or polished. That is the reason I am shading it. Now, before the line which I drawn was a transparent glass. I have shaded one of the part of the transparent glass, means this is polished now. So, on the other side, what you see will get reflected back. So, when I allow the light, suppose say this duster is the torch. Now, I am switching on the torch and allowing the light to fall on this mirror. What happens is, many rays of light will fall on the mirror. It is not like only one ray of light is going. Multiple rays. Ray of only one line is called ray. It is called ray of light. It is called ray of light, and this is how you represent. If there are multiple rays like this, many number of rays, then it is called the beam of light. It is called beam of light. Ray of light means single line with arrow mark. See, whenever you represent this ray of light, children, this arrow mark is very, very important. Why? Because it represents the direction of light. In which direction the light is moving or traveling is represented by this arrow mark. Hence, it is very important to show that arrow mark. Next, if you draw many such rays together it is called the beam of light. So, when you switch on the torch, it is not like one ray is coming as you do with the laser. No, it is not like that. There are multiple rays, or together the beam of light is coming out of the torch. Among such rays, among these many rays, one of the ray will fall on the mirror exactly perpendicular to it. Among many rays of light coming from the source in general we tell. It is not always like torch. It may be the sunlight, or it may be the torch, or it may be the bulb, tube light, anything, any source of light it can be. From such source, when light is coming, one ray will strike the surface of the object or of the mirror in straight line, that is 90 degree. It will make an angle 90 degree. You know 90 degrees is a right angle. So that ray is called the normal ray. It is called normal ray. What is a normal ray? A ray when strikes the object, a ray of light of course, a ray of light which when strikes the object make 90 degree with the surface is called a normal ray. So if at all you want to represent this incident ray, reflected or any other rays of light, it is with reference or with respect to this what is called the normal ray always. It is always with respect to this normal ray. Now, let me write it here since I want to continue with the figure. Normal ray, that is which is making an angle of 90 degree with the reflecting surface. Now, one of the side of the mirror is silvered or polished, means the other part or other surface of the mirror is available for this process of reflection, and that surface is called the reflecting surface. It is called reflecting surface. What is reflecting surface? The surface which is available for the process of reflection in that object is the reflecting surface. So for the mirror, the silver polished part cannot reflect the light. The other part is reflecting. That is called the reflecting surface. And now you know this ray of light which is coming from the torch or source of light is the, this is the torch. So 90 degree which is making straight line with the, striking the mirror straight 90 degrees the normal ray. One more ray is same again falling on the mirror in this direction. The ray of light coming from the torch is falling or touching the mirror in one surface. After the light falls on the mirror, what will happen? It will get reflected back in this direction. Arrow marks are very important, children, as I said. See, I said, you know, while mentioning any ray of light, arrow mark is very important. Why? Because so when the light is falling on the surface, this ray is called the, I will write full form, let me write it here. Incident ray. The ray which is falling on the mirror from the source is called the incident ray. So, we know that normal ray is making 90 degree with the reflecting surface. Then, each ray should make some angle, no? Like that, we cannot keep on measuring angle of each ray of light. We refer only mainly for the three main rays. One is the normal ray as we studied. Here, one more ray of light which is falling on the mirror, see, inward direction, falling on the mirror is called the incident ray. Why? It is incident on the mirror and hence it is called the incident ray. This incident ray will make an angle with the normal. Usually, children, we represent the normal by the dotted lines like this. We represent it with the help of dotted line just to differentiate it from the incident and the reflected light. If you draw the continuous line also, it's not a problem. So, this incident ray is making an angle of incidence I with the normal. Angle I is the angle of incidence. What is angle of incidence represented by small letter I? What is angle of incidence means? The angle made by the incident ray with the normal ray. The angle made by the incident ray with the normal ray is called angle of incidence, which is represented by the small letter I. Small letter I, you cannot write capital letter. Similarly, the light after falling on the mirror, it gets reflected back and comes out or travels out in this direction. So, the arrowhead is downward here. So, this reflected ray will make an angle of reflection. Angle of reflection, it is represented by small letter r. Angle of reflection r. What is angle of reflection? The angle made by the reflected ray with the normal is called the angle of reflection, which is represented by the small letter r. So this is about the angle of incidence and angle of reflection. So let us soon recall what we studied. We studied what is light, what are its, how important is light in our daily life. Next we studied about what is reflection of light. Whenever light falls on any object, it reflects back and falls on our eyes. Our eye will detect the object and that message will be sent to the brain through the optic nerve of the eyes, and the brain interprets what the object is and helps us in differentiating. So to understand this reflection, we consider the mirror, in which one of the side of the mirror is silvered or polished and other surface which is available for the reflection is called the reflecting surface. When the light is coming from any source of light, one of the ray which falls straight or on the mirror or the reflecting surface is making an angle 90 degree, and that ray of light is called the normal ray. What is normal ray means? A ray of light which is making 90 degree on any surface. When the light falls on any object, it makes the 90 degree angle 90 degree with such object, and it is called the normal ray. The surface area after polishing, the one more surface area which is available for the process of reflection of the mirror is called the reflecting surface. Another ray of light which is incident on the mirror, which is making an angle of incidence I with the normal, is called the incident ray, and the angle which the incident ray is making with the normal is called the angle of incidence, represented by small letter I. Similarly, this incident ray, after striking the mirror, the ray of light reflects back. Arrow mark is very, very important. If you draw the complete figure without arrow marks, it has no meaning and it carries no marks as well. So this is called the reflected ray. Reflected ray makes an angle R with the normal, called the angle of reflection. Angle of incidence, angle of reflection, incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal ray. So based on these concepts, now we shall study what the law of reflection. What is law of reflection? Next, children, we shall study the laws of reflection. It is LAWS, laws, and not LOSS, laws. So, laws of reflection. After understanding what is incident ray, what is normal ray, what is reflected ray, what is angle of incidence I, what is angle of reflection R, all this, we can easily understand the laws of reflection. In the laws of reflection, there are mainly 2 points. First point is the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. Now we all know what is this angle of incidence and what is angle of reflection. Angle of incidence I is the angle made by the incident ray with the normal ray. Angle of reflection R is the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal ray. So this angle I and R, which are marked here in the figure, they are always equal. That is the first point in the laws of reflection. See, I have drawn the line like this. So I am telling I and R. You may draw little wider also. If you draw also this whole angle, what you consider I is equal to R. If you draw the lines very narrow also, this will be I, this will be R. Like this. How many ever rays on the incident ray, how many ever reflected rays you consider which is falling on the mirror, I will always be equal to R. That is the first point. The angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. Mathematically, how you represent? You know to write the angle. L shape I, R, no? So this is how you represent the angle. Angle I, angle R. You will read it as angle I, angle R. Angle I is always equal to angle R. That is the first point. In the second point, see, the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal drawn all lie on the same plane. Yes, now second point is again we are looking at the figure. So, let me consider only the main things which I draw. We'll erase it not to confuse you. Okay. Yes, so in this figure, children, you know this line is the incident ray. This line is the reflected ray, and the dotted line what you see is the normal ray. Are they lying on the same plane? Yes, they see they all are meeting at one point. They all lying on the same plane. Can you see any ray of light going like this, like this, like this and coming like this, like this? No. So, the angle of incidence, the angle of reflection and the normal drawn all will lie on the same plane. The figure can be drawn this way also. The same reflecting surface. The lower part if I shade, this is the normal ray. Incident ray which is falling on the mirror and arrow mark, children. It is continuing. So, angle is making an angle of incidence I. The light after falling on the mirror reflects back in this direction, making an angle of reflection, or both are same. Whichever figure you want, you can draw. I am sticking on to your textbook figure. That's it. So, in this case also, see, I will be angle I is equal to R, which is the first point under loss, and second point is the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal drawn all lie on the same plane. These are the two main points under laws of reflection. So, question will be asked like, state the laws of reflection. How do you answer is, you should draw either this figure or this figure and say the 2 points are the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal ray drawn always lie on the same plane. This is about the laws of reflection, children. After understanding what is reflection, what are laws of reflection, next we shall study about the types of reflection. Types of reflection. How many types are there? There are mainly two types. One is regular reflection, other is irregular reflection. Irregular reflection. So with respect to the types, the questions what you can expect are, what are the types of reflection? Regular reflection, irregular reflection. What is regular reflection? What is irregular reflection? Differences you can expect. So regular reflection means the one which we studied. Here, the incident ray is always equal to the reflected ray. The reflection takes place very uniformly. See, incident, reflected. Sorry children, I don't have color chalk. Hope you can follow the figure. If at all in the next class I'll show you once more this figure. I get the color chalk. I get it from school. Okay now see here the incident ray, reflected ray. Second incident, reflected. Incident, reflect. Incident, reflect. Uniformity is there in the incident and the reflected ray. Mainly the reflecting surface what you have. The reflecting surface, this line what you have is smooth and plain. It is a plain figure. This is regular reflection. Irregular reflection means the reflecting surface is not uniform. It is not uniform means it is not straight. Suppose if you see this example, you can say reflection with the help of mirror. Yes, no, it is a smooth plain surface with one side silver dot polish. So when light falls, I will be equal to R as we studied. But if I give you, I will break the mirror with sharp edges. Any sharp edge object if you take, it will not be having smooth surface, right? It will not be having smooth surface like the other case. In such case, what happens? The reflection will take place, but I is equal to R condition will not be satisfied. So, if light falls, it may go somewhere else. See? Like this. This type of reflection is called the irregular reflection. The reflection, the reflecting surface is not smooth or plane. Such type of reflection is called the irregular reflection. After studying what are laws of reflection, next is types of reflection. Regular reflection, irregular reflection. Regular reflection means I is equal to R condition will be satisfied and the reflecting surface will be smooth. Whereas in case of irregular reflection, the reflection surface is not smooth and I is equal to R condition will not be satisfied. So children, this irregular reflection is also called the diffused reflection. D-I-F-F-U-S-E-D. It is also called diffused reflection. Means something which is not clear. Diffusion. You have studied about the diffusion, no? So similarly, which is not clear reflection. You see, now if I drop a mirror, or a glass piece normal, if I drop it, what happens? Or the mirror, if you drop, what happens? It will be broken into pieces. So now you can see your face or your image in each piece of the glass which has fallen down. Yes, no, but can you see the clear picture? No, in one picture, if you're in one of the glass piece, if your face is clearly see, one more piece of the glass which is not broken in proper way, only your eyes can be seen or only your nose can be seen, like that. Yes, no? So it is irregular reflection or diffused reflection. Mainly in case of irregular or diffused reflection, the surface or the reflecting surface is not the plane or the smooth surface. Here they also tell it in terms of, in case of regular reflection, the rays of light which is reflected back, the reflected rays are parallel. See, they are one beside the other, neatly arranged. They are parallel rays. But in case of irregular reflection, the rays what you get are not parallel lines. That is the main difference. So this is about the types of reflection, children. One more thing I wanted to tell you. Now, if at all you stand in front of the mirror and have a look at yourself, if you lift your left hand, it appears as though you are lifting your right hand. If you move your right hand, it appears as though you are waving your left hand. Is it so? You all have experienced it. Now, if I stand in front of a mirror wearing sari, the pallu which is this side appears as though I am wearing it the reverse. Yes, no? Why? Why do you feel so? What type of reflection, whether it is regular or irregular reflection, we cannot say it is irregular reflection clearly. Why? Because of course mirror has a smooth and plane surface and the reflected rays are parallel. So that the type of reflection is called, children, lateral inversion. Lateral inversion or lateral reflection, you can tell. Lateral reflection. Why the name lateral reflection? You think lateral means something which is happening sidewise. Yes, no, that is what is happening. Right hand appears to be left, left hand appears to be right. So such type of reflection which is happening in the plane mirror when you stand in front of it is called the lateral reflection. Next, let us see what is this multiple reflection. So now we understood what is reflection, types of reflection, what type of change you see in front of the mirror, left hand, right hand changes, what you see, all that is, it is called lateral reflection. There is something called multiple reflection. One second. Next is, children, what is called the multiple reflection. Here the name itself tells you multiple. When you multiply, what happens? The product goes on increasing. Here also, if reflection is multiplied means it's what the image is formed many times. So whenever we are talking about reflection, we try to understand this process of reflection by drawing this figure, right? Incident ray, reflected ray, angle of incidence, angle of reflection, everything. So suppose here is the sun. The sunlight is falling on the mirror and that light gets reflected back, and this is your eyes. It is falling on your eyes. Now if at all you are standing on the mirror, then your image will be visible to your eyes. Clear? So when this two rays of light meet each other, meet each other, the image of the object is said to be formed. So whenever, as we studied in the earlier, whenever the light falls on any object, the reflected rays which falls on our eyes helps us to observe the things. The things what you are observing is nothing but the image of the object. You see yourself in the mirror. That is the image of the object. In the vehicles, you have the rear mirrors, no? The mirrors in the vehicles, what you see, the picture of the what the vehicles are, the people which are coming behind the vehicle, what you can see, the image, that is the image of the object. So how does this image form? When two rays of light intersect or meet each other, then the image is formed. So minimum of two rays, it is not like only two rays if they meet, image is formed. 3 or 4 rays if it come, no image, no nothing like that. Minimum of 2 rays of light is required for the image formation. So when 2 rays of light meet each other or coincide, the image of the object is said to be formed. Similarly, what is multiple reflection? Means if you see the multiple image of any object, then it is called the multiple reflection. Where you can see this multiple images, best example is the barber shop, children. So girls have habit of going to the beauty parlors, yes, no? So whenever you go for hair cutting, maybe boys or girls, when you go, children, after cutting your hair, behind, see, you first you will be made to sit on a chair. In front of you there will be the mirror, correct? After cutting your hair, what they do is they hold one more mirror or they fix one more mirror back of you, and so that you can see front what they have done, what style they have done. Yes, you can see. Back side how you can see? No. So always they have habit of holding a mirror behind you and showing your hairstyle to you. So when you do that, you can see your your hairstyle, what is done backside in the front mirror. So what is happening? When the person is holding the mirror behind you, the light will fall on the behind mirror. That reflected rays again falling on the mirror which is in front of you. That reflected light is falling on your eyes and helping you see the image of your backside. So this type of reflection is called multiple reflection. And you can see yourself, and behind one more mirror if you hold, there also you can see. So like that, multiple reflection. If you have visited Lal Bagh and all, there you can see, children, various mirrors has been placed where you can see your funny images and all. Yes, no, there you have experienced the multiple reflection. You can, if 2-3 mirrors are there in behind you, everywhere you can see yourself. It is not like only one mirror is reflecting your image or light is falling on only one of the mirror. Multiple reflection is taking place, means multiple images you get. That is the multiple reflection. So best example what you can give is the barber shop, where you can see the hairstyle of the back side which is not visible with the front mirror. So this is about the multiple reflection, children. So we studied first what is a ray of light, what is beam of light, what is reflection, what is reflection of light, how are we able to see things around us. Next we studied what is a reflected ray, incident ray, angle of incidence, angle of reflection, what is normal ray, how to represent it with the help of figure. Next we discussed what is laws of reflection, what are its 2 points. Next we studied about types of reflection, regular, irregular reflection, how it happens and how do you differentiate them. Next we studied about the lateral reflection or lateral inversion, what we sense or feel when we stand in front of the mirror. If you lift the left hand, it appears to be right. If you move your right hand, it appears as though you are waving your left hand. That is lateral inversion or lateral reflection. Next you have the multiple reflection. That is multiple images formed when you have different reflecting surfaces. So that is called the multiple reflection. So we said when two rays of light meet, minimum of two rays of light is required for the image of the object to be formed. So the image formed, there are types of images formed. Is it the image real? Is it not real? It is virtual, it is false image. Whether it is erect or sometimes you look inverted in few mirrors. How is it possible? Well, that is the nature of the image. How is the object? Object was kept straight or was it kept inverted? The image formed is straight or whether it is inverted. Is it of same size as that of the object? Sometimes you appear bigger, sometimes you appear smaller, as I said, in funny mirrors when you see yourself. Yes, no, best example is when you are driving the vehicle, you see with the help of mirror which the vehicle coming behind you. Suppose a truck is coming behind you. So the truck is bigger compared to the size of your two-wheeler or your car which is driving. So if at all the mirror which is used, if it cannot focus, that small mirror cannot focus the big image of the truck. Yes, no? But it appears to be tiny in your mirror. How is it possible? What type of image then that is? So the object, it is appearing small than actually it is. Or behind one more person is walking. Yes, no, if the whole person, if you stand in front of mirror, whole mirror you can see yourself. Whereas in the vehicle mirror, you would look tiny. Yes, no, like this there is very much variation in the size of the object, size of the image, or it may be inverted or erect or inverted, virtual, real images. All this we shall study in the further classes, children. So what I request you is, please go through the textbook, read the textbook. I have sent you the PDF of this new syllabus science textbook to each one of you to your WhatsApp numbers. If at all those who have not submitted the worksheets, the first worksheet which I have sent, if you have not sent, then I don't have your WhatsApp number, so I have not sent to them. I asked your friends to share among you, so I don't know how far you all have discussed and shared the textbooks. Hope every one of you have the new syllabus textbook and please read this lesson. Okay. In the next class, we shall study we shall know how to prepare the kaleidoscope at your home. I want each one of you to prepare the beautiful kaleidoscope and bring to the school when you come back. Till then, have a nice day. Take care. Thank you.